Oh, yes. Just looking at this 18 U.S. Code 1515A1 as used in Section 1512 and 1513, the term official proceeding means, yes, a proceeding before a judge or court of the United States, yes, a United States magistrate judge, a bankruptcy judge, a judge of the United States tax court, a special trial judge of the tax court, a judge of the United States Court of Federal Claims, or a federal grand jury, a proceeding before the Congress, a proceeding before the federal government agency, which is authorized by law. Yes. And I just thought that we should look at the employees of all the federal judges. You remember yesterday we were talking about the judicial branch of the United States government. They said, no, we're not liable. We don't have any liability. Oh, I thought I would have gotten a phone call yesterday, but it seems that nobody wants to actually enforce obstruction of justice laws. They don't want to enforce fraud laws. Pooch. Mail fraud? Yes. Wire fraud? Ooch. Why don't you get me all the wire transfers of every employee of the judicial branch of the United States government? Yes. For the last 60 years. I know. You're a Supreme Court justice. How you like that new job, Brett? There is a big question about exactly how you made your money. Oh, I know. You're sitting there, Supreme Court justices of the United States, having knowledge of obstruction of justice. There's no possible way. Is that right? How are you this morning? It's Paul. Now, I'm just going to want to know every employee of every court of the United States for the last 60 years that received a wire transfer. Pooh! You would have thought Supreme Court justices and all the employees. Yes. I emailed the Washington State Supreme Court thousands of times, and they didn't think they had the authority to enforce the RCWs of the state of Washington. And when I look at these obstruction of justice laws, the whole concept of, well, tampering with my witness that happens to be my wife that I'm wanting to divorce. Yes, you remember that disillusion of marriage where you kept sending the notices to the wrong address? Yeah. Am I still married, or do I need to get a divorce in that United Nations marriage certificate? Did anybody in the judicial branch of the United States find out, can the United States divorce a United Nations marriage certificate? I thought I had to go through the State Department. Oh, Pompeo, it's Paul. How do you like your job? Why don't we just get all the wire transfers? I know. You're the Secretary of State. It's Paul. Listen, I wanted to know, did you get any wire transfers during the last 60 years? I mean, from the day of your birth. Somebody decided to pay you 50 years ago. You were 10 years old. Pooch! Why don't you get me your first bank account and the first bank account of every employee of the State Department, the judicial branch. Pooch! Every librarian and every employee of every library. Pooch! And all the postal employees from the time of their birth until now. You started a savings account? Well, I think you're in your 60s. You're in your 50s. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I thought you looked older than you are.